Destruction to follow Trump's new tariffs. A blow or a golden chance for India? Imagine you are at the supermarket buying vegetables and prices suddenly jump by 30%, or your smartphone costs 10,000 more while your salary stays exactly the same. How would that feel? Now imagine all of this happening because of just one announcement by a country's president, and that president is Donald Trump. Yes, the same Trump who has once again shaken the foundation of global trade. His latest policy move has triggered global economic tension, and it's going to hit people like you right in the pocket. So the question is this a new crisis for India or a hidden opportunity in disguise? And more importantly, how much of your annual income is at risk? Today, we'll dive deep into this critical issue. But before we begin, if you are new to our channel, don't forget to subscribe so you never miss an update. Now let's get started. No time to waste. Trump recently announced the implementation of a new tariff system called the Reciprocal tariff. This means that the US will now impose the same level of tax on countries that those countries impose on American products. In short, the message to the world is tit for tat. And with that, a new trade war has begun. Now, if you think this will only affect governments, corporations, or stock markets, think again. The real blow is going to hit ordinary people. Due to Trump's decision, everything from mobile phones to clothing, food, and technology could become more expensive. And if you recently bought an American brand product, the next time you check the price, you might be shocked. The US has imposed a base tariff of 10% on all countries. On top of that, extra tax has been added based on each country. India faces 26%, China 34%, Vietnam 46%, Bangladesh 37%, Indonesia 32%, the European Union 20%, and Japan 25% additional tax. This means that now any goods coming into the US from these countries will be more expensive according to this fixed tariff structure. The most interesting aspect of this entire policy is that Indian goods will still remain cheaper compared to many other countries. Why? Because countries like China and Vietnam will face higher tariffs than India. Moreover, the goods exported from India are already priced competitively. This means Indian exporters could now find a new opportunity in the US market. But the story isn't that simple. Donald Trump claims that the US faces a trade deficit of nearly $1.2 trillion every year, meaning the US buys much more than it sells. To reduce this deficit, he has implemented the Trump tariff. Trump believes that if foreign goods become more expensive, Americans will be inclined to buy more domestic products. However, this move could bring both losses and gains for India. The downside is that India is also subjected to a 26% tariff. The upside is that this rate is lower compared to what China and Vietnam face. These two countries are major competitors to India in textiles, electronics, and food products. So, there's a chance that American buyers might now turn towards Indian goods. There's one more important thing to know. India and the United States are currently in talks over a bilateral trade agreement. If this agreement is finalized, India could receive partial relief from these tariffs. This means the door to the US market might open a little wider for India. The question arises, which sectors will be most affected? According to statistics, from April 2024 to February 2025, India exported goods worth approximately $396 billion to the US. This means the US is India's largest export market. The sectors most likely to be directly impacted include textiles, electronics, and agricultural products such as rice and fish. For example, India exports about $8 billion worth of garments and $5 billion worth of food products to the US each year. A 26% tariff means that the prices of these products will increase, which could reduce demand. But the good news is that Bangladesh and Vietnam face even higher tariffs. This means Indian garments may now be comparatively cheaper in the American market. So, can India move ahead in this game? The answer is yes, but with conditions. India's share in global exports is just 2.4%. So overall, the impact of the tariffs on India's GDP will not be very significant. According to estimates by Deloitte and HDFC Bank, due to the tariffs, India's GDP may decline by only 0.19%. If we look at this impact from the perspective of an average citizen's income, there could be a yearly drop of around 2,396 rupees. That means 2,000 to 3,000 rupees could quietly slip out of your pocket every year, without any warning. This may not seem like a lot, but for the middle class, every rupee counts. Now let's talk about the US Trump's move could backfire there. If the value of the dollar doesn't increase, the American public will have to pay 26% more for everyday items. This raises the risk of stagflation in the US, meaning inflation will rise, but economic growth will stall. And such a situation is extremely dangerous for any country. Not only that, if Europe, Asia, and other countries impose retaliatory tariffs, a new trade war will begin. And its impact will be felt across the global economy, especially in countries that are heavily dependent on the US. But for India, this entire development also hides a major opportunity. India needs to reduce its dependence on the US and look for new markets, such as the European Union, Gulf countries, Africa, and South America. Alongside, India must also strengthen its domestic production. Government policies are now moving in this direction. New measures are being taken to curb dumping, efforts are underway to support domestic industries, and trade deals with the US are being prioritized. If India succeeds in signing free trade agreements with countries like the US, UK, Bahrain, and Qatar, it could bring significant relief to sectors like textiles, electronics, and semiconductors. This will also boost India's manufacturing strength and create employment for millions. The Federation of Indian Export Organizations, FIEO, claims that if India adopts the right strategy, we could capture a new market worth $50 billion in the next 2 to 3 years. While the entire world is worried about Trump's tariffs, India can actually see this as an opportunity if we act wisely. Trump's tariff is a warning. Global trade will no longer be easy. Every country will now have to revisit its policies, strategies, and partnerships. India stands at a crossroads with two choices: 1, to sit back in fear, or 2, to turn this challenge into an opportunity. And this is exactly the moment for India and Indians to come together and craft a new economic strategy, one that boosts exports, stabilizes domestic demand, and focuses on technology and innovation. Because when the whole world is anxious, India might be the nation that finds a way, even in the dark. And that's exactly what defines a rising global power.
If our video has taught you something new, do not forget to like and share this video so that this information can reach others as well. Your likes and shares are a source of inspiration for us. If you have any questions or suggestions, please let us know in the comments. It will be our honor to answer your questions and listen to suggestions. And yes, if you like our content, subscribe to the channel and press the bell icon so that you stay connected with every new story. Thank you. GRT Business YouTube channel sources: news from various news agencies, opinion polls, and other public sources. We try to ensure that every report and summary is accurate and verified, but we are not responsible for any dispute or error. Our aim is only to provide you with accurate information.